What's happening, folks out there? And you are listening or watching another episode of the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 61. I am Too Tall for You Fool, aka Justin Reed. Today I am joined by a new guest, Silent Void, also known as Alfredo or Duke of Education. He has his own podcast. And of course, my main man, the F-Man, OVG Gaming himself, Finest Dabs. So today on the show, we're going to be talking about games we love for Halloween and the N64 and the horrible rollout that it's been on the Nintendo Switch. But before we get started, just know that the Game & Watch podcast is a OVG production. We are on Patreon. Definitely support us on Patreon. And we are also on any listening platform that you want to listen to us on, whether it be Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. Yeah, we are on there also, so definitely support us on, and of course our streaming platforms, whether it be Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, we're on there, so definitely give us a support. If you want to email the show, gameandwatchpodcast@gmail.com. We'll definitely read your emails while we're on the air. So before we get started, how y'all doing?
Solid, man. Just happy to be here. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
Yeah, loving the shirt. Yeah, same as you. Happy to join as a guest for you guys. We're not quite Aloha for me, but some Kingdom Hearts musical notes for me.
Oh, did you go to the concert?
I sure did.
Oh my gosh,
right on.
And it was amazing.
I wait, was it the Kingdom Hearts one? I went to a concert. I don't remember which one it was.
they all blend together.
I went to a Square Enix concert. I actually did fall asleep. No, that's
No.
this year.
Are you serious? You fell asleep
Yeah,
at a concert. I can see a movie, but a
What?
concert.
I think it was the Kingdom Hearts one.
No.
Yeah, I was pretty drunk.
I've always wanted to go to those. I've always wanted to go to those concerts where they've been doing like certain video games. Like I know they did them for like Sonic the Hedgehog. I've always wanted to go see. Yeah, that has some really good music. I mean, say what you want to about the game, it's always had great music, even from its 16-bit era days.
It was for me. It was the compromise between me and my wife. She always wanted to go see like an orchestra, like and I was like, okay. I was like, cool.
Like, we'll see an orchestra,
yeah, I'll
but
get tickets.
well, no joke. Definitely going to the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra was probably one of the best events I've ever went to, just because. Well, you chose to miss it, you know.
I did.
But the videos that they had with the CGI cutscenes combined with the orchestral music, so cool.
Yeah, agreed. For what I did see.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, guys. So it seems like y'all are doing well. Before we get started, any plans for Halloween? Going trick or treating? Dressing up as anything?
Probably just dressing up in my onesie tonight, my Sonic the Hedgehog onesie to be specific, and going to sleep. That's it. I don't have any kids or anything. So
wait, that's a nightly thing? So it's just like a regular day?
It's a tonight thing because of Halloween.
Nothing, just taking the kid out trick-or-treating. He is Catboy from a show called PJ Masks. So,
oh yeah, PJ Masks. I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, so we're going to take him over to one of the neighbors' haunted houses and and go to the nice part of the neighborhood and get some huge candy bars that he cannot eat, but me and the wife can. So, how about yourself, man? Any plans?
Yeah, we're gonna take the little one trick or treating later. We might go to a friend's later, depending upon time. She's dressing up as Moana, so hopefully all will be well. She'll be able to eat her candy. My daughter's 6, so and she loves sweets just like her mother. So yeah. So anyway, let's jump into our first story as we get into the gaming news call outs and. GTA San Andreas is on VR. So who would have known that a GTA, a sandbox game like this, going to VR? This is very, very incredible. I'm very impressed with the technology that they're doing. GTA seems to have been like the talk of the town lately with the definitive edition coming out next week actually, and then also just with now this is just like mind blowing, like GTA and VR. I mean, Finance, you're a big VR guy. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Like, I think we kind of touched on this like the other week when we were just talking about other VR games and everything. But Oculus slash Facebook's Meta, they're like delving deep into VR and like what this could do. So I mean, they're gonna bring a lot. They're gonna bring a lot of games. We just saw, unrelated. We just saw Resident Evil 4 be remade for VR, and I think this is going to be a popular trend, bringing back like older games that they necessarily don't have to start completely all over again. And then they're going to bring those to Oculus Quest and HTC Vive and PlayStation VR and things like that to just create a new experience for gamers. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited and I can't wait. What Silent Void? What any thoughts on GTA San Andreas on VR?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't get to watch the entire presentation, but when I heard that they were first bringing it over to VR, I kind of thought about when Rockstar decided to bring to Grand Theft Auto 5 the first person mode and how everybody went nuts. And I feel like this is going to be the same type of deal where now it's coming to VR, and with as big and huge as Grand Theft Auto is, Grand Theft Auto 5 in particular, and how many just copies they are still selling on a month-to-month basis. We see it's in the top 10 of just, of games selling on a month-to-month basis. I really think that this coming to VR is pretty big, and that it's definitely going to cause people to be like, ooh, I need to get a VR unit now because Grand Theft Auto is going to be on it. Grand Theft Auto just carries so much weight to it, and I feel like it's going to be a win-win for VR and helping people get more into the space. And then from there, they'll start dabbling a little bit into, what other VR experiences are available to me? And then they'll start going into things like alt space VR, which is like a more social thing. They'll start dabbling into other games. So I think it's going to be a win-win.
What are you going to say, Justin?
Oh, no, you can go. You can go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, I do agree, but in terms of VR is a touchy type of thing to do in VR. Like, just having a game like this in VR is such a touchy thing to do just because of, like, graphics wise. Higher fidelity, like, keeps you from, like, being nauseous and,
right.
And the frame rate is just so important. And I don't think that'll be necessarily a struggle with this, but as far as, like, being encapsulated in that world, I just hope it translates well. Just my experiences with VR so far, like, graphics don't necessarily matter for all games, but for a game like this where it is very sim-like in some respects, I would just hope I hope that, like, when you do jump in this VR experience, like, it doesn't turn people away versus bringing people in, even though it is Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think this game would get anyone nauseous in VR personally. I mean, at least I don't think so, unless you're going on on a wild car ride, and if you're controlling it, you're just going all over the place, like spinning off the curbs and stuff like that.
But you can, yeah.
Yeah,
You can,
especially
you
in
can,
5-star police chases.
you know, you can fly like we were talking about the other day in the Discord. Like you can fly the Harrier jet, you know, like that experience. Like I have Ace Combat, you know, and flying, and that's in VR. And flying that, like, it makes me feel a little bit queasy. So trying to do that in a you know, what is this, like 9-year-old game, or is it more than that? Like,
I think it's
more than that.
Yeah,
way more than that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just gonna, it's gonna be a tough experience doing some of those more just crazier things.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it on the level as Wipeout in VR. That I wouldn't need anything before playing that game if you want to, you know, do something in VR. But I think it's definitely a good thing. I think the VR space is getting a lot bigger with a release like this, even though it's a 9-plus-year-old game. But you know, for the sense, I mean, we'll see what else can translate into VR. Maybe we'll see like a 3D platformer in VR, perhaps. Maybe like an Assassin's Creed game or something like that. I mean, that I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like if we were to do that in VR, or we could even do a fighting game, which leads us to our next topic. And you know, this is going based off rumors, but apparently the WB is putting together a rumored leak game, another Smash Brothers like game. This sounds a lot better than the Nickelodeon one we've been talking about the past episodes back or whatever. But Warner Brothers is putting out a multiverses game, which has been leaked. Apparently, it's going to be characters throughout the whole Warner Brothers or WB circle, generation, whatever you want to call it. We're talking just beyond DC. We're talking like cartoon characters, like, you know, Rick and Morty, Scooby Doo, or Shaggy. I mean, would you want to see Shaggy versus Batman, or just something like really ridiculous? I mean, what kind of scenario would you guys want to see with a bunch of WB characters fighting? Just off the top of your heads, any thoughts?
Anything involving the mystery gang, I'm pretty much down for. But people, I don't know if you guys have seen the memes. People love Shaggy, particularly when it comes to him, beating down people.
Style.
Right. So if they could incorporate that, I'm sure people will go crazy for it, even some sort of skin. But I actually am excited to just have like another type of superhero brawler in the style of Smash Bros, because I feel like there's always room for that, just because the Smash Bros formula is so crisp. It's just so fun. So I'm always excited to see what they can do with that, since they're bringing superheroes to that. Sign me up for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They have to be very reminiscent of, like, the game has to follow the Smash Brothers formula. Like, it can't be like PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, right.
And then, you know, take that formula and try to, like, mix it up in different ways that detract from the formula enough that people just aren't enjoying it. You know, it has to have the right cast, and, you know, in order to drag people in also. It's going to be nice, if it has Wonder Woman and Superman versus, like, Scooby-Doo and everything. But that roster is really going to matter, and how diverse it is going to matter. I mean, Smash Brothers is kind of like the all-inclusive one right now with, like, 82 characters. I mean, and we have, you know, from Microsoft, we have from Sony.
Something like that.
You know, and we just have, like, characters from generations back that we haven't seen for years and years. So, I mean, if WB can mix it up and follow that formula, I mean, I'm all for it. Bring it. I mean, we need more games in that realm. I mean, Nickelodeon's the first one since PlayStation All-Stars that I know of, that I can think of. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's its own genre in itself, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I feel like they need to learn also from the mistakes that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl did. one of the biggest horrendous things that they did, I'm sure you guys know, is that the voiceovers were really, really bad in the game, where you couldn't, when they were being hit, like there would just be nothing. Like there would be no voice lines from any of the characters in their original voices. So if they can capitalize on that. Apparently.
I guess it is. I guess they have to pay too much money for those voice actors or whatever.
Finding all those actors and bringing them back. No, I actually didn't know that. I knew that the balancing was off, and
Michelangelo overpowered.
Yeah, and they like removed Michelangelo from one of the tournaments that they brought the game to. So I know the balancing's off, and I don't know if they're going to do updates or if they're just going to leave it be. But I had no idea about the voiceovers.
Yeah, but like Shaggy versus Scooby Doo, I mean, that's like a unrealistic fight. Yeah, they would have to really, really, really just knock it out of the park in terms of like the balancing, like with the characters, because you don't want to see like a overpowered character. And we do see it in, Smash Brothers from time to time, but they're always updating it, for those tournaments and everything. But yeah, Michelangelo being overpowered for the Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl game. Yeah, just that's kind of like, I mean, it happens, but I mean, hopefully, if this is true, I mean, we can, it will be fun. I mean, definitely sign me up. I'll definitely check this game out, man. And
Animaniacs versus Looney Tunes, like
they really got to go throughout the whole scope of the whole WB, like Bugs Bunny. Yeah, we're talking like everything. Like
even give me if they would give me some WB kids shows like Shaolin Monks, bring back Omi, bring back
Shaolin Monks,
Kids Next Door.
Hit
on that nostalgia, like people, I would jump on it for sure.
Yeah, I would eat that up for sure. I mean, just look at Space Jam. Space Jam was this.
Space Jam.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is bring that into like a fighting game, and and take that Smash Brothers formula and take every character that they had Space Jam, because I mean they plugged everything in that movie. They're just like Men in Black and blah blah blah, and just like they force feeding us. And I was
not expecting that from that movie, to be honest. Yeah. I was like, why are all these characters here?
Yeah, it's like
I'm not complaining.
Basketball.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, I've already heard like what's happened and whatnot, in that game, but not game movie, but I mean that definitely looks like a real good game. Hopefully it does come true. I mean, I would definitely be all over it. Maybe not a day one pickup for me, but definitely just something to play. Definitely will hit that nostalgia factor with some of today's WB's biggest characters, wherever they may be. So looks like Sony forms PlayStation PC, and I guess with what this means, I mean, we already know that several titles are coming to the PC for PlayStation. They've already put a few titles on the PC from PlayStation, but it looks like they are really trying to dip into the PC realm and try to get away those PC gamers. So looks like a PlayStation PC. It's a real thing, and besides Death Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, and God of War's coming, and who knows, maybe just maybe we'll get Sony's back catalog of games on PC. I know none of us are really PC gamers here. Well, I don't know about you, Silent, but Finest and I definitely aren't. You are?
I'm a good PC gamer.
All right.
I have a good setup.
All right, for sure. What do you think of PlayStation dipping into PC? Do you like it, or do you think they should just stay console?
I mean, honestly, when I first heard this, I thought it's about time. Just because I think everybody could see this coming also a mile away, because we saw them first try with, Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC, and then they did most recently God of War. They've been trying to, push some games where they know, okay, there's a sequel coming. How can we generate hype or extend our reach so that we can dip into another market and then maybe get people to come over to PlayStation for the sequels? And I feel like that's exactly what they're doing with these games, especially with God of War Ragnarok coming next year. So I would say all the merrier. I definitely don't expect them to give the sequels, the long-awaited sequels, onto PC anytime soon for those games. But I do think it's nice for these games that are 4 or 5 years old, 3, 4, or 5 years old, to finally come to PC and then show them, what they're missing a little bit, and then maybe bring them over to the PlayStation ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The only thing that raises my eyebrow, like raises a question in my head when I hear that, is like, why did they start with Days Gone then?
Yeah.
Like,
Why
was
did
That's
they
a
start
fair
with that
point.
game?
You say that,
What's up?
but here's the thing. Days Gone was a good experiment because I feel like
Yeah.
if they could get Days Gone and that as a PlayStation exclusive that didn't do that well critically,
Yeah.
I think it got like 70s. And if that went well, then they can expect their gangbusters like Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War to really do so much better. And I actually have a exclusively PC friend who only plays on PC. And when that came to Days Gone, he messaged me immediately and was like, "This game is amazing. It has this, that, and the other." And I'm sitting over here like, Days Gone wasn't that good. If he thinks this is good, just wait till he gets to Horizon Zero Dawn, or just wait till he gets to play God of War. Because honestly, PC games you don't really compare to PlayStation exclusives, to be honest. So
No.
they're eating up, and they're gonna love it when these epic games come over.
No, it totally makes sense. And like all joking aside, like I do completely agree with you. In terms of this, I mean, I'm just looking towards the future. Like this is PlayStation setting up for battling potential like Microsoft and in the competitive space of like just being,
Yeah.
Microsoft being just so PC focused on top of doing the Xbox also, and then with things like the Steam Deck coming out, PlayStation now has a Vita 3, a PlayStation Vita 3 with this, Shohei Yoshida, was just, he just put out a thing where he was playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
So what game do I think they're going to bring to PC next? Horizon. Horizon's coming out soon. I mean, I feel like that or Bloodborne, but it's kind of protective in a way. Like Sony doesn't have to invest into new technologies, creating a new handheld system. All they have to do is bring their games to PC, and then they're going to be able to be played on this new system. Microsoft, while they do have a lot of games on PC and Game Pass and everything that we were talking about earlier that are, some are exclusive to Xbox and some are exclusive to PC. I mean, this is gonna just open up a whole new realm for Sony, which is why they made a whole new department for it. It's now official. So Sony's they're in. They're stepping in, and now it's just finding the developers to be able to transfer or kind of bring them to the PC market that provide them with the different control schemes, be able to raise your graphic settings and provide those features. And I think that's the only thing that's really taking so long is finding the developers in order to make their already established games that they already had come out years ago and do that. But it's definitely going to bring PC gamers to PlayStation, and it's definitely going to open that market, and it's going to just bring more eyes on Sony altogether. So genius. It's about time.
Yeah, so definitely it's funny that you mentioned the Steam Deck. It's making me more and more want to pre-order the Steam Deck now because the fact that you can play PlayStation exclusives handheld, that's just
and you'll have Xbox
amazing.
Game Pass, and you'll have Steam, and you'll have the Epic Store.
And all the emulators you want to add.
It's open source, so all the emulators and viruses you want to add. But yeah, no, it's going to be something magical. I really feel like, and yeah, it makes me. I should have pre-ordered one because now I'm kind of like
I mean, I think it was only $5 to put down, but yeah, right now I think if you pre-order it, it's probably not going to get it until like over a year because of that.
Yeah, 2023 probably.
Yeah, because it's looking. I mean, it wasn't a day one pickup for me anyway, but it's just like I look at that thing, it's just like, God damn, man, I missed out. Celine, if you're listening, definitely let us know how that thing is when Apollo gets it.
Yeah, he has one pre-ordered. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So, speaking of PlayStation, we'll stick with them for a minute, and we are going to talk about the games coming out for the month of November for the PlayStation Plus. So we have 4 games here for the PlayStation Plus, and these are some pretty good games, I think. The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners for PlayStation VR, Kingdom of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Amalar, all right. Re-Reckoning for the PS4, First Class Trouble for the PS4 and PS5, and then Knockout City for PS4 and PS5. Knockout City, anyone? That was I played that a while back on my Switch. That is a pretty fun game, even though it's 3v3. I mean, just running around the city playing dodgeball. That's a pretty fun game. Yeah, so definitely, I would definitely recommend Knockout City for anyone that's into like community games. Like, you know, that's a good one. Be right now on the dodgeball. Like I said, who wouldn't want to run a dodgeball? Any of these PlayStation games you guys looking forward to?
No. Oh, you go for it. Okay, I'll take this one first off. Since we have Knockout City on the screen. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for this one. This was kind of like one of those like free to play type of games that, you know, like of course you could have paid for it. But I was like, oh, like this would be just a cool game just to dive in and just, you know, with the family, friends. I was kind of just jealous of like Switch owners in that respect, and that they got to like play this one. It just seems like kind of like almost a Fortnite-esque free to play game, or not free to play. I keep on saying that, but it is free to play now. Now it's on PlayStation Plus. But no, I was excited for this game. It just looked like kind of just one of those games where you just don't have to think and you can just kind of run around and have fun. And you know, dodgeball is definitely an interesting take on you know this type of gameplay. It's not a shooter. It kind of reminds me of Splatoon in terms of like the style and just the aesthetic and just how fun it just looks to play. So I'm excited to jump in this one, especially since it's coming into PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, same for me. I was actually looking for when this was going to happen because I did not want to pay $20 in order to play it. I think they did have some sort of trial, but on the Switch to be specific. Yeah. But I just never got around to it, and I didn't want to play something like this where it was like a competitive battle royale of sorts on my Switch. I wanted my PlayStation to be able to do that. So now that it's finally free, I'm definitely gonna step into it and see if it's something that's gonna be my next addiction, basically.
There you go.
Yeah, looks very fun.
Well, it's free if you have Game Pass, so definitely order the Game Pass if you guys don't have it. But it's definitely a fun game. I mean, it's the one I would recommend out of all these games. And yeah, when I played it on the Switch, it was free up until like you got to a certain level. Then you had to pay like $20 or something like that. And I wasn't gonna drop that money for it. But I mean, it's definitely a good game. So definitely check it out. And then we'll also jump into the Xbox Games with Gold for the month of November. Moving Out. Where's the other one? I'm sorry, Kingdom
Justin,
2 Crowns, Rocket Knight, and Lego Batman 2.
You're cutting out a little bit. Sorry. What were you saying then?
I was the 4 games coming out for Xbox Games with Gold for the month of November. Moving Out, Kingdom 2 Crowns, Rocket Knight, and Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. Any of those games that you guys are looking forward to for the Xbox side of things for the month of November?
Some good picks over there too. I'm particularly interested in Lego Batman just because I heard those games are good, even if you don't have any kids to play with for it. So it's about time for me to get into it, I guess. And then Moving Out, I was also really interested in because it was very, very similar, I believe, to Overcooked and Overcooked 2, which are some of the best local co-op experiences you can get. I do believe Moving Out, I want to say, is coming to Game Pass as well, or maybe something like that. So I don't know if they might be double dipping there, but I could be wrong. Nonetheless, I'm really excited to play that game.
Yeah, Moving Out, I love Overcooked. Just number one was incredible. Number two, I never bought number two, but I see all the DLC coming out all the time, and I'm like very tempted, and like just trying to figure out like, is this more of the same, or like what makes this different? But it seems very reminiscent. It seems like there's like good humor to Moving Out, and like they were like in this trailer right here, they were of course taking all the stuff out of the home and everything, and then they were like, oh yeah, like one of the things you have to do is like also fight ghosts, and there it goes right there, busting ghosts.
I did not know that.
So just like
I didn't know
if
that
it has
either.
a Ghostbusters reference, I'm already on board. That means like we have a similar humor. But yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. The only thing I worry about if it is like Overcooked, me and my spouse would get pretty mad at each other playing those games. Having two chefs in the kitchen, so to speak. So if this is anything like Overcooked in that respect, be careful. Who you're playing with, because you can fighting each other.
Yeah, got that games. Mario Party energy where you become enemies. Speaking of Overcooked, though, if you do have PlayStation Plus, last month they gave away Overcooked, basically the bundle for free, which comes with Overcooked 1 and 2. So if you didn't grab that yet, I think you can still grab it since it's still October.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't even know that one was on PlayStation Plus for last month.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, Moving Out does look fun. I mean, it's something I'd probably play with my wife if I were to get it. I mean, yeah, just a game about moving out and then having a fight ghosts. It's kind of hilarious. Actually, it kind of looks even a little better than Overcooked in my eyes. Just like more to do, because like with Overcooked, you're pretty much just in the kitchen just trying to do that. Here, it's just like you're moving all over the place trying to get stuff out of this house and or office or wherever you're at. It's a really cute game. And then another game I would do for Xbox is definitely the Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes game. The Lego games are really good, even if you don't have kids. I mean, they're definitely good games. So I would definitely jump on that also in terms of what the Xbox has going on for the month of November. With that being said, we move on to our topic with the state of play. Now, the state of play, I don't think has been getting crushed online. I'm just going to be real to say it. I think of the state of play, and just what were they thinking? Like, was this even necessary? I mean, I know Sony's trying to and Xbox One is trying to mimic what Nintendo does, but at least when Nintendo comes out with not a big direct or like an indie direct, at least they will say this is an indie direct. So I mean, obviously we know what to expect, like with these with these showcases or directs or whatever you want to call them, because it's just not they're just like going. They're trying to just put something out there, and it's just like you're disappointing people. Like a lot of people gave this showcasing like a D or F. I mean, there were a few games that I would maybe like one or two that I would like to check out, but for the most part, like it was very lackluster. Before we get into the games though, what do y'all think of it?
I see. That's the thing. They said this state of play is only going to focus on third party games. Now, people hear state of play and they just like lose their minds because they think it's going to be like amazing announcements. But of course, if you don't read the blogs, if you don't pay attention, you know, like you can very easily miss that. But it was said, they said we're focusing on third party games. You know, and what that means is like you honestly don't know. But I do feel that this is necessary because this is for those games that you wouldn't hear about. This is for you know, third-party studios that don't get the time of the day. Like, you know, no one dedicates shows to them. You know, no one talks about them. You know, and the fact that Sony took time to showcase these games, to, you know, showcase these developers and what they're doing. I mean, yeah, I think that's awesome. Like, I understand, like, everyone's upset about it, and, you know, but the thing is you have to set your own expectations, and you have to go into it, like, curious and not just, like, I don't know, like, just with such high expectations that you think, like, every state of play is going to be a banger, because every state of play is not going to be a banger. You know, it's going to be different, everyone. And I'm just happy. I'm happy with the games that were here. But, you know, I'm probably not going to play many of them, to be honest, you know, but I'm glad that I got to see them because I didn't know any of them exist. But, you know, I did know they exist, but, you know, like Death's Door, like, I'm so happy that Death's Door is now going to be on PlayStation. And I'm glad that got showcased. And now the PlayStation audience, like, if they did not know that was a great game because it was on Xbox and PC, like, it is a great game. Go play it. And this is that opportunity for PlayStation to you know, show that to people and let them realize that, yeah, this is a game that's great and that they have a chance to play it. Star Ocean was super big on PS2, you know, and Star Ocean's back. Like, it's been a long time. So they showcased it, and yeah, now you know it's out there, and now you have a chance to keep it on your radar, you know, and not be forgot about. So I'm happy, and everyone just needs to calm down, in my opinion.
But
yeah, that's fair. I was definitely on the side where Justin was at, where I was pretty disappointed in what they showed. I was aware that they said, hey, this is going to be third party, but I do feel like that statement in and of itself is far too broad, because when they said, hey, this is going to be third party announcements, what I was more expecting in line was not such an indie focused show, more along the lines of, oh, maybe I'll see some Square Enix stuff that I haven't seen. Things like Final Fantasy 16, which is a PlayStation exclusive, but we haven't seen in a while. Things, just other games that bigger, more triple A third party is kind of along the lines that I was thinking. Hogwarts Legacy, also PlayStation is marketing that game, and we haven't seen that in a while. But really, after the show had ended, the only one that I was really interested in was Little Devil Inside, which was the last game that they showed, and they explicitly also said that game was going to be shown. And that game looked really good, right up my alley, but it didn't have any sort of release date or anything with it. So
yeah,
overall,
I mean, it's been delayed. So
yeah. So exactly. Overall, I was pretty delayed, but after sitting down and thinking back, I understand that what they're probably trying to do is saving all of those big AAA games and even the first party games for reveals, probably to be done at Jeff Keighley's Game Award show in December, which is only a month away. So I definitely understand why none of that was shown, but I'm still pretty disappointed because I do feel like most of these things probably could have just been on the PlayStation blog.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, definitely. Yeah, I definitely do agree with what you're saying, Finance. I mean, you can't always expect the greatest and latest stuff to be shown here, but I mean, but at the same time, Alfredo, you were right. They pretty much just said third party. They didn't like if you hear like a Nintendo Direct or like this is going to be an indie direct. Like, you know what to expect. Like,
Yeah,
I
they'll
think a lot of
underline
people-
indie. They'll make it clear.
So, I mean, they just need to make it more clear. I mean, it was a pretty nice showcase. I mean, Death's Door is definitely a game I want to get into. The Kart Rider drift game, that's just a knockoff of a game we're not going to mention. But I mean, Star Ocean, that's been around since the PlayStation 2. It's good to see that one back. The Five Nights at Freddy's game looks pretty good too. I mean, it's probably not going to be a day one pickup for me, but it's something I can see myself playing later on down the line, or if it's like a discount in the PlayStation Store, I pick it up. I mean, looks freaky, gives you that Halloween feel, I guess you could say.
But my question to you, or both of you really, is why do they have to be more specific? Because you, as the consumer, the person that they're speaking to, gets their expectations up. They said state of play. We've had such a mixed bag of state of plays. We've had a one just dedicated to Horizon. We've had one dedicated to Death Stranding, where it's just one game. We've had other ones where, they
VR.
do just indies. We've had one that does VR. It's, and I think that's what you have to go into. You just know, I almost at this point think it would have been better if, they didn't say anything. Because that's what people are treating it like. Third party's third party. Indie is such a diluted word. What's indie now? Is indie a small team? Is indie a small budget? Is indie just not AAA? What is AAA? All these words, they mean very little at this point, and it's just PlayStation just wanted to show games, show you some games, and for people to trash on Sony for showing that these games that people are that people are making, that developers are making, they're spending time on. For me, I just don't feel okay, it would help next time so Sony could avoid this to be more specific. But in terms of should they have to, I don't feel like they should have to. That's like me saying oh, I'm gonna go out, and I step outside and walk back in my house, and then my spouse is oh, I thought you were gonna go out. Well, I did. I stepped outside. I don't have to explain myself, but I don't know.
I see what you're saying, but I would say that in Sony's case, they do have to be specific because it comes with who they are, and that's PlayStation, which has a lot of gravitas to it in and of itself. And it's not just because oh, they're Sony, this is who they are. No, Sony has made it to be that, oh, we're PlayStation, we're better than everyone else. We have the best exclusives. They're the ones who made this image of them. So I expect them to either bring the heat or just shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they do have that attitude. We're the best. Look at the PS4. It sold more than the Wii U. Sold more than the Xbox One. So it's yeah. I mean, just if you're gonna be talking like that, back it up. That's all I'm saying. But I mean, I do agree. What you find is maybe they should be more specific. I'm not disagreeing that they should not have shown those games. I mean, if they want to show the games, show the games. Just don't make everybody mad and have everyone.
Would you have tuned in, or would the millions of people have tuned in if they said hey, this is a state of play? Well, yeah, because you're
I would have said I would have
streamed it.
You guys would have. But in terms of everyone else showing up, I don't feel like people would have showed up. And I'm gonna look for the PlayStation tagline where it says PlayStation, I'm the best, because I don't think I've ever seen that from PlayStation. But they do give out sales numbers, and they've continued to do that. And what you take from those sales numbers is once again on you as a consumer. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this alone because I'm in a losing battle. But
it's all good, man. But yeah, I mean,
I like debating these things because I knew I assumed you guys were going to probably be on the other side of this. So
I hear what you're saying for sure, though.
I see it.
I like being the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know you well, and this is one reason why I love talking games with you. You always have that out of this world opinion. I knew for some reason you would have been yes, I agree with the whole thing. But
let me say this about and this is just the truth. Like, despite what I'm saying right now, I was a little disappointed in myself. I'll give you guys that. I was a little bit disappointed in myself, regardless.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Okay, I'll take that, man. I mean, I just took it for what it was, but I mean, yeah, just it wasn't like. I guess I was disappointed in terms of like hot releases coming out, but I mean, definitely, I thought something good for holiday season, just something going in the next year, but yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, they just got to be more specific next time. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, so we go on to Nintendo, and so we've talked about the past couple episodes with the Nintendo Switch Online service, the whole raising it to $50 a year or $80 a year if you want to do the whole family plan to play N64, get that Animal Crossing DLC, and to play some Genesis games that you can play 1,000,001 other places. So I guess last Monday, the service launched, and Genesis, you heard no complaints from them at all. But the N64, on the other hand, has gotten off to a pretty rocky start in terms of the emulation, the mapping, the controller buttons for some of the games. Like, I know Ocarina of Time, you definitely do need those C buttons, and it is pretty tough to play without the actual buttons. But it got off to a pretty rocky start. People questioning mind saying like the fog's missing in this level, or just it's just not emulating correctly. To me, like, they did not test it, and now to play these games even further, you need to go out and buy a $50 controller that is being scalped for the most part. Just they don't sell this in stores. You got to go through their website, and they if you're probably going to be very lucky if you get one at least for the first month. I'm thinking they will have great supply since they're getting crushed on this. But F-Man, what do you think of this whole Switch Online getting off to a rocky start? Was this expected, or should it have been ready?
You already know my answer. This was expected, man. Like, anyway, just think about like all the games that have come out to the Switch and its cloud gaming that haven't been able to perform already. Guardians of the Galaxy is the most recent one. It's not performing on the Switch. You had Control on the Switch. You have Kingdom Hearts. We'll see. And there's a reason why there's only a few games that are coming out to the Switch and trying to do cloud gaming, because the Switch can't handle it. I mean, the Switch is a wonderful device. It honestly, I love how Nintendo just changes the game. Like, with like almost every console iteration, I love how they change the game. But it's an underpowered piece of hardware. And Nintendo isn't known for emulation. They've been accused of taking other people's emulation. And we've seen the what was it, the last console that was it the Super NES Mini?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, the Super NES Mini was okay, but they're just so bare bones. Like, those consoles that they've come out with that do emulation are so bare bones. We know that the N64 is one of the toughest things to emulate, one of the toughest consoles to emulate, just because of the N64 architecture. And I'm pretty sure we talked about this maybe 3 episodes back when we heard it was coming out. But yeah, I mean, the price is a whole different issue.
Yeah, we talked about the price.
Yeah, as far as this, I already knew Nintendo fans were going to pay for it regardless. I just didn't know what they thought they were. I don't know what they were expecting when Nintendo said they're going to bring these games to their online system or online network or whatever, because I mean, it's already bare bones. Like, you just look at what they previously done, and it tells you how this was going to come. Like, you got to look what they were doing before. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling because I'm just so annoyed by Nintendo. But what do you guys think?
I mean, Yeah, pretty much everything you said. But the thing is, like, although, I would expect, obviously, the Switch can't handle something like Control, something on a AAA level. But this is a Nintendo 64 game. All of these are
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 games. So I at least was holding out hope that it could handle a, 30-year-old game at this point, almost. And the fact that it can't, and people are having issues where I believe we were talking about this yesterday, but with some of my other Dukes, but we were talking about how the longest recorded, even the input lag for this, and the longest recorded input lag was something crazy like 10 seconds for this Nintendo 64 game that, came out just fine when Super Mario 3D All-Stars or whatever that game came out with. Yeah, which had Super Mario 64, but now that it's come to cloud gaming, it suddenly is having all these problems. I just don't understand.
Yeah, how's there no button mapping for this game? Like,
That too.
Like ridiculous. Like,
know?
come on, like button mapping. You seriously, like Nintendo needs to change like with this whole button mapping thing, and then it's that's just horrible. But on the Genesis,
I just don't know how they did not QA this game. Like, how did they not QA their like own online network prior to putting these games out? Because I don't know which game it was, but one of the games that requires the expansion pack for the controller, it tells you that you need the expansion in order to play the game. Like,
punishment. I could be wrong, but I could.
Yeah, like, how? Just come on, Nintendo. Like, simple QA would have like solved like so many of these problems. And if it wasn't ready, if it's half baked, don't put it out. Like, but I mean, people are paying for it regardless.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
they're gonna buy it.
Yeah. So, who am I to say? I guess I'm the insane one.
No, I don't think you're insane. I mean, I didn't pay for it, and mainly because of the price. But I thought they would have at least gotten it right. I thought they would have done some testing, but apparently they did not, and now it's like they're just getting crushed online for it. But like you said, I mean, Nintendo has enough fans out there. People are going to buy this thing, like, and they don't care. And it's just like speed runners trying to run through Ocarina of Time, just like you're at that water level or whatever where you can't even see like the fog. It's like, oh, okay, like. Man, it's just
the colors were off in Ocarina of Time too.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And what's weird too is that I'm pretty sure, if my memory's not mistaken, the Wii U had a much better emulation system on the console itself for Nintendo.
Console.
Yeah, and it leaps and bounds better than what they put out here. So I just don't understand why they couldn't just, I'm sure it's a little harder than just transferring it over, but they did it before and it was much better. And they just took so many steps backward.
They didn't want to do that because then you wouldn't be able to repurchase. You wouldn't have to repurchase the games. Mm-hmm. So Nintendo, they're infamous for just like cutting you off at the legs, and then it's like, oh yeah, like that's not available anymore. That was just one and done with those systems, and now purchase our new system. Now purchase all of our games all over again that are
with a subscription this time.
Oh yeah, that barely works.
Yeah, barely works, and it's just man. I don't know why they should have. I mean, now people have been complaining for years since after they put out the Super NES. What's the next console going to be? What's the next console going to be? People were thinking it was going to be Game Boy Advance. But yeah, no one. I mean, people probably did see N64 coming, but no one saw Genesis coming. So I mean, at least we haven't seen any. I personally haven't heard any complaints on the Genesis side. But then again, it's a 16-bit console that is pretty easy to run. So that should there really shouldn't be any. But definitely. Yeah. I mean, if you guys have this service, good luck trying to get the N64 controller. Hopefully they start selling them in stores, or you could use some connecting devices or something for some old ones.
Scalpers will stop picking them up. I think it was just an initial thing, but I don't think they're going to make as much bank off of those controllers as they think they are. So we'll see.
No, I don't think so either. Speaking of the games for the N64 service, looks like data of mine suggests that more games are coming to the Nintendo Switch service. Looks like it's going to be up to, let's see, according to here, 52 games. No, 38 games for the N64, 52 for the Mega Drive or Genesis. And if you read this tweet, it was from Mondo Mega. Looks like one of your favorites is coming, Wave Race. If you look at the Wave Race, Majora's Mask was on there, which was already announced. Another game is Mario Parties 1 through 3. So they're alphabetical. So if you look at the tweet, Super Smash Brothers, I mean, you can only guess like what games they're going to put on there. Do you think they will put GoldenEye on there? No.
No way.
Just licensing.
Exactly.
Licensing.
Yeah, they won't be. I mean, it's anything's possible with enough money, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I mean, GoldenEye hasn't been brought back yet, so we'll see.
I could see them doing maybe Perfect Dark, but yeah, GoldenEye, yeah, probably not. But I mean, any other games coming out for the N64 in the future that you guys would want to see, or even a Genesis for that matter, if you have Switch Online and are paying for this?
I mean, I would have said a whole bunch of games for Sega Genesis because I actually never had a N64. I had Sega Genesis instead. But this whole fiasco of what we were talking about previously with, all of the issues with button layouts and the whole infrastructure not actually working, just making me a little bit cautious about, all right, they clearly have some games coming, but how is it going to run? Am I actually going to be able to play these games easily? So I will remain cautiously optimistic. Hopefully they can fix their servers to the point where people won't have all of these issues.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I just put up Wave Race right there. I would definitely want to play that game again. Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, take me back to those days. Perfect Dark, and which would never happen either at this point. I don't. Well, maybe considering Xbox has that.
Banjo-Kazooie's coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
And Xbox has been known to play nice with Nintendo.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah, more than Sony. I'll give them that much. I mean, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely just 38 games. So maybe like later on down the line, once all the games are released, and if they fix the emulation on their end, and if I can get a controller without having to pay a scalper, maybe I'd pick up the service.
That's a lot of ifs.
Yeah. A lot of things gotta come into place for it to happen. But I mean, but on the Genesis side, with the exception of Strider and Musha, I mean, I could play those games just any other way. Like, all right, I got the Genesis collection. I got the Genesis Mini, so it's like,
yeah,
I think I'm good. Like,
there's so many Genesis collections at this point. It's like you can play those games on your phone and on any console. You can play it on your refrigerator at this point. I mean,
they make it easy.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna continue talking about games. With it being Halloween, I want to know what games get you into the Halloween spirit. I guess I can start. So for me, definitely, I played this, I believe, not last year, 2 years ago, the Ghostbusters game. Yeah, Ghostbusters, the one where the original cast got back together. It should have been Ghostbusters 3 if you ever played through it, but it just didn't happen that way, unfortunately. But that is a good game. Anything with Ghostbusters, you always definitely think of Halloween. Ghostbusters. Another one for me would be any of the Luigi's Mansions games.
Nice.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3. That was a good one. The first one's good. The second one's also good. Anything Luigi's Mansion is good. And also brought a third one, and I gotta go with the cult classic here that a lot of people love. It just recently came out on a compilation with the other game Ghoul Patrol, but it's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I didn't play it too much as a kid, but a lot of people really like that game, and definitely just zombies, Halloween, the whole spooky thing. What do you guys think of Halloween when you think video games?
For me, it would be, well, the first thing that comes to my mind is Dead Space. So
Dead Space, oh yeah.
yeah, like those necromorphs and just like chopping off their limbs and just running through that space. I can't wait till I can't wait till it's remade. Even though that game like holds up so well.
Did you like the third one?
No. Wait, third one? There's
Yeah,
a third
Dead
one?
Space 3. Yeah, with
no,
co-op.
Co-op was introduced in number 2 though, right? And then it was in number 3 also?
I think it was introduced in number 3.
Okay. No. I never played number 3. So
I mean, you're not missing out much.
Yeah,
Because most people don't
honestly.
like that one because it was co-op and more action focused.
that's probably why. That's probably why I never picked it up. And then the other game is Bloodborne. So
Bloodborne, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think Bloodborne is maybe one of the best Halloween type of games that would get me in the spirit of this last generation now. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got for you. I didn't bring 3 because I was only told to bring 2.
well, I said at least 2, but it's all good.
Yeah, for me, definitely what I play as far as Halloween goes is a game called Dead by Daylight. Have you guys heard of that?
Heard of it? Yeah, I've never played it.
It's basically a 4 versus 1 competitive game. It's an asymmetrical game where it's basically 4 survivors versus 1 killer, and there's a whole bunch of survivors with different perks, a whole bunch of different killers with different perks, and basically the survivors have to repair these generators in order to try to escape the killer before he kills them, essentially. So yeah, so basically it's just really fun. You're running. I always play as a survivor. You're trying to run away from the killer, make sure you don't die is the name of the game. So I play that all the time, not exclusive to Halloween. Even more during Halloween, but
is that made by the developers that do Until Dawn or no?
No. Okay. So this is made by Behavior. Dead by Daylight is made by Behavior Interactive. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Behavior is in their name. I can find out. But no. But that does bring me to my second game that I love to play around Halloween's time, which is the Dark Pictures Anthology series, which is made by Supermassive Games, who did make Until Dawn. So it's those story-driven experiences where you're in a B-tier horror movie, campy horror movie, and you're trying to make your survive, or you're trying to make your people, your different playable characters, usually 5 or more, survive for the day or however long the time period goes against. And for the Dark Pictures Anthology, what they're doing is they're putting out a game every single Halloween. So last year it was Little Hope, which was like a ghost town story. The year before that was Man of Medan, which was a sea story, I guess. I can't say much without spoiling it, but every year they put out a game around Halloween's time, and you have to basically, your survivor skills get put to the test in the form of quick time events. But the fun of the game,
Detroit Become Human then?
Yes, exactly. It's pretty much exactly like that, just a horror type setting, and there are multiple different pathways and branching storylines. That the fun part is you make choices that determine how the story plays out, and it's just a fun time seeing how long you can last without accidentally killing your people, and maybe you don't make the best decisions in horror type situations, but I love playing those games.
Nice.
Kind of like that recent Geico commercial with those people running around like let's hide in a shed full of chainsaws, and then and then the announcer says, in the horror films you always don't make the best decision.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of that.
I was wondering where you were taking that, bringing up Geico. I was like, where's this path leading?
Hey, usually I do pretty good. The last one I saved 4 out of 5, so pretty good.
Can you actually do 5 out of 5? Is that even?
Yeah,
is that
you
like,
can.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
always save all of them, and you can always kill all of them as well.
Yeah. Any Halloween games that you guys are playing right now, or just you guys are good? You guys no.
I am actually. I'm playing the latest Dark Pictures anthology game, which is House of Ash, which just released last week in time for Halloween, starring. Who would have thought Ashley Tisdale from High School Musical? Not even kidding.
Casting.
Yeah.
There you go.
She did survive in my playthrough, so I saved her. But what's also really cool about these games is that now they made, unlike Until Dawn, they made them completely co-op. So not split screen co-op, but you can play them online co-op, which I always do with my friend, and is usually you take you're one person and then your friend is another person with you, or they can be in a completely different part of the game and you just have no idea what's happening. But the idea being that every decision they make influences what you're doing and vice versa. So yeah, cool. It's really cool. And they're like 6-hour interactive movies, basically. Very fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, definitely.
I feel like Netflix might do something like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
Oh,
but I know Netflix is getting into gaming, so I feel like they would like do something.
Yeah,
in that realm.
We'll have to definitely see what they do. I mean, in the future with Netflix gaming. But yeah, definitely with Halloween, just being around this time, Halloween spirit, figured just talk about something fun. Thank you guys for that. All right, so the release rundown and what we are playing. So the release rundown for this week is November 2nd. We got a pair of Switch games coming, Unpacking and World War Z. Unpacking is also going to be on PC. November 3rd, we have Bloodshore, and that's going to be on all platforms. November 4th, we got Just Dance 2022. That's going to be, looks like all platforms except for the PS4. I mean, it could be wrong, but I don't know, unless it's already out on PS4. But yeah, Just Dance 2022 for those that don't got that. And another thing with Just Dance, I think they stopped this last year, but there's no more Wii version, guys. So
dang it.
Yeah, so if you have a Wii, I think Just Dance 2020 is going to be the last one you can play.
My console of choice.
The Binding of Isaac Repentance coming to Xbox Series X and S, and Where Cards Fall coming to the Switch and PC. November 5th, we have the Animal Crossing's New Horizons Happy Home Paradise DLC, Call of Duty Vanguard. That's going to be for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and then Let's Build a Zoo for the PC. Any of these games anyone should be watching out for this week, or DLC content, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, probably not so much, but I mean, Binding of Isaac, I've heard wonderful things about. So, glad Xbox players are going to be able to jump into that. Animal Crossing, one of the biggest games of this last year. So I know plenty of people are going to want to jump in that DLC if they didn't purchase the online the online Switch expansion. And then, of course, we'll see if Call of Duty is the biggest game of the year again. So
I really hope Call of Duty isn't. But I'll get it. I don't know. I'll get into that in just a sec. But Call of Duty Vanguard, I mean, definitely we will got a lot of people buying that, even if it looks weaker than the one that came out last year. And like you said, Finance, Animal Crossing DLC is going to be a big one, but unfortunately, you have to pay that $50 a year if you're gonna be participating in that. So get your wallets ready. Just let me know how it is.
You can purchase it separately.
That's
for
right.
$30, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think 26.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think 30, 26, all the same.
Yeah, but otherwise, it should be. I know next week, Forza's coming out, so I know Mr. Madness, if you're listening, I know you definitely wants to talk that, but that's not on the list for this week. But just some good games. Alfredo, any games coming out that anyone should be on the lookout for? Or? Anything that
Not
interests you?
particularly. I was also going to shout out the DLC, of course, for Animal Crossing, but yeah, the people who love Animal Crossing, I'm sure already know about the game and are throwing their wallets at it already. So
And if they love dancing, they're probably already throwing their wallets at Just Dance. They definitely want to get that Christmas party on with that.
I'm waiting for Dance Central to come back. I'm a Dance Central loyalist. So, forget Just Dance.
dig out your Connect.
Yeah, man. There we go. That's what I'm talking. I have it right behind me. It's right. Is it right there? Can you see it? It's right
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, right there next to the Pokeball. Oh wait, that way. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ready to go. It's waiting for the next Dance Central to come out. That's it.
All right. So the best part of the show now. What are we playing? Alfredo, you want to start? Oh.
Sure. Yeah, I already mentioned the House of Ash, which honestly I think everybody should play. It's probably one of the best Dark Pictures anthology games that they come out so far, which are 3 of them so far, and apparently they have committed to making a total of 8. So we get to look forward to that every single Halloween. Well, I do anyway because I love those games. But aside from that, I'm actually playing another game that came out a couple years back called The Messenger, which is a Metroidvania game. And I decided for some reason to play it right after I just finished Metroid Dread, which is the first Metroid game I have actually played and completed. And I wasn't too hot on that game, and then I decided to jump into The Messenger and try to finish that game. So as far as that game goes, the first half of it is very linear, which I really enjoyed it. I really loved the new cloud step mechanic that they use. It's basically like I said, Metroidvania, where you get new abilities to unlock previously inaccessible areas when you come back to them later in the game, whenever that is. So the first linear part I really was enjoying. I loved the mechanics. And then when it opened up, the second half of the game, it opened up into a more what you would expect a Metroidvania game. Going back and revisiting several other regions that you had already been to, but looking at them in a different light, by basically trying to figure out, okay, what's different in this area, what new has opened up, and how can I use my new abilities to access new areas. So I didn't really enjoy that part of the game just because, well, actually for the same reasons I didn't enjoy Metroid Dread a whole lot, which is because the map design is just so big and there's so many regions and there's not really any guidance of where you're going. You just have to figure it out essentially. So I didn't enjoy it that much. But what I did appreciate about The Messenger is that they have this pseudo guidance for you. So they'll give you a map. They don't mark anything, but what they'll do is they'll give you these little riddles and say, hey, this is the next thing you have to do, but you're going to have to work for it. This is the riddle, and you have to figure out what the riddle means, where out of these 10 plus regions you have to go, how to get there. It's very puzzle-like in its nature, and I don't think I'm wired to enjoy those games as much as it's just a straight linear story, to be honest. But like I said, 2021 is the year of the backlog for me, so I'm glad I got it under my belt. I finally finished it yesterday, and I did enjoy the plot and the gameplay of it, but after 10 hours, it did seem to drag on a little bit because you don't really get any new abilities after the first half of the game. Unlike Metroid Dread, where they were constantly giving you new power-ups, new ways to use everything that you're getting. So both games definitely had their pros and cons. So it was interesting coming off of Metroid Dread to go to Messenger and then see, oh, you did this better, but you did this worse. So I definitely enjoyed them playing them back to back and seeing the differences there.
It reminded me of the Ninja Gaiden when I took a look at the Messenger. Yeah, very much so, like old school Super Nintendo or GBA
For sure.
one.
Yeah, the Messenger. Yeah, I've seen that. I've been thinking about jumping into it for a while, but just after hearing your review, I might give it a crack later on down the line. But yeah, there's a little too Ninja Gaiden for me. So I was just like, yeah. But you know, I mean, you're telling me it's pretty good, so
Yeah.
I might definitely give it a check it out.
Especially if you enjoy Metroidvanias, then this is probably right up your alley.
Yeah, for sure. Finest man, what are you playing?
Let's see. So I am playing Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of, sort of.
Sort of.
So,
yeah, what's that mean?
So I went to go pick it up last week, and then of course Best Buy didn't have it. So then I went yesterday to go pick it up, which was awesome. But then when I got home, I popped it in my PlayStation. There was a 11 gig download right off the bat.
Yeah,
So I was drinking beer. I was chilling, trying to play that game, and yeah, it just took forever to get into. So by the time I jumped in, I was actually like pretty done. But so what I did do in the game was the first thing you do, and this is no spoilers because this is literally the first thing you do when you get into the game. You're Peter Quill. You're in your room, and you're listening. Well, you're talking to your mom, and she's like talking to you, whatever, and she leaves, and you're like listening to music. So yeah, and I was just like listening to this made up band, Star-Lord, that's in the game, and they have the entire album on the cassette tape that while he's like sitting in his bed playing, and I was just listening to that music because I got these new headphones, and these are the PlayStation 5 3D, the Pulse 3D ones, and it just sounded incredible. So I was listening to the album, just kicking back, and that was pretty much it. I fell asleep on the couch. So that's as far as I got into the game. So I literally turned on the game. Yeah, I turned on the game. Well, I was on Peter's bed. No, I didn't fight anyone. So that's as far as I got. I was actually gonna play. I was like, my plan was to play it for like 5 hours just so I could like talk about it today. But of course I didn't get that far. Other than that, throughout the week I was playing Hades. So
nice.
Yeah, that was a good time. I love some Hades, and Matt showed me some later gameplay. He's done I think it was like 111 runs or something like that in one of his files. And he was just like, it looked like a whole different game from what I'm playing right now. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's it. And I'm going to play Guardians after this podcast, and I will be talking about it more next week.
All right, for sure. Well, for me, it's been kind of a busy week for me. I played some Hot Wheels Unleashed. Definitely just messing around there. Gotten into the racing groove. I also played Metroid Dread. No, not well. I did play Metroid Dread, but let me get back to that. I played Tetris 99 to get that Metroid Dread theme.
Oh, that skin.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I had to get that. So yeah, I definitely got that. And then I played some Super Turrican, the director's cut, which is on Super NT that I recently just got. That game is really, really hard. Well, maybe not that hard, but I can only get to maybe the 5th level or something, and then it's just like, oh man, like, do I really want to go again? Like with all the continues.
That game's like super old school. It reminds me of like Mega Man, but like not. I mean, it's just a platformer.
It's a platformer.
Terms, but yeah, that game seemed just so old school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm having fun with it because even though I had a Super Nintendo back in the day, just I didn't really play a whole lot of run and guns on the console, so it's like, okay, let me give this a shot. And, it's fun. I mean, the second one's also downloaded on there, but it's just like one of those games I just didn't really like. The whole genre in general, I just didn't really play like a whole lot of run and guns. So it's I'm having fun with it. I do want to beat it. I was trying to look for like a cheat code, but since it's the director's cut, I can't find one. I know I could probably find one for the second one, but yeah. So
does anyone miss cheat codes? Because I know I do.
I feel like they put a lot of them in like the actual settings of the game, but nothing will beat like putting in the button inputs.
Yeah. I just want to pop in a Game Shark or something, or pop in a cheat code like
Game Genie.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the Super NT, definitely the best Super Nintendo console I've ever played. I love it a lot. And then I did jump into Metroid Dread late last night. Yeah, that last boss, that's where I'm at right now. Just I've made it to like the third phase of the boss, so it's I'm getting my ass kicked, but hey, I'm getting further along, so definitely I will do my best to try to, just I should hopefully beat it by next week. I'm hoping, and I think the game is good. I do have my a little list of stuff I don't like about the game, mainly the map design. I think the map could be a little better in my opinion, but I mean for the most part, I think it's a good game. Um, yeah, just really the map, and then just having those figure stuff out. Sometimes like you can get stuck, like if you're not just shooting like a thing here or there. I think they should give you like something to like help you identify, instead of having to like go through like like a walkthrough or something like that. But yeah, because I did have to do that a couple times with that. But but in terms of like the difficulty of the bosses, like you said a couple episodes back, Finance, get good if you can't beat the boss.
Well, I mean, I halfway believe that. I believe games should be accessible. I love a good easy mode too.
Yeah, it could have been easier. I will say that.
I hear that like that boss battle's epic. I hear like that's like the best thing about the game is like being on that last level, fighting that boss, and doing a perfect run, pretty much, and just being able to defeat him. So, yeah, Justin, I'm sure like once you beat it, like you're just gonna have you're just gonna be so excited.
And also once you beat it, then the game will tell you, oh, you've unlocked difficulty modes, but there's only hard. So sorry.
Yeah, I've heard.
So you're already playing on easy, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. But I mean, yeah, I'm just talking to the people who had critical reaction to it that the boss battles were too hard. But it's a fun game. I mean, I haven't played very many Metroid games. It kind of makes me want to re-explore Super Metroid.
Yeah, no one has.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, it's probably going to be the best-selling Metroid game ever, and
for sure.
Yeah. It's the Switch effect, right? The Switch effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, glad to know what you guys are playing. Anyway, gonna put this episode in the books now. This has been episode 61 of the Game & Watch podcast. Make sure to check us out on our listening or watching platforms, wherever you listen or watch your podcasts at. For Alfredo, aka Silent Void, and OVG, aka Finest, Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fools, saying so long. Join us next week for another episode of the Game & Watch podcast. Bye now,
everyone.